But I have a question when it comes to the end of games. Okay, Clemson has been up, at the end of games, by a few points several times this year. Obviously, they've had an up and down season. But can you tell me what your thoughts are on having Clyde Trapp on the floor at the end of games? Okay, he's 47% from the free throw line. That's when you need shooters on the free throw line. You have a guy like Alamir Dawes who's sitting on the bench usually, who's 74% from the free throw line. Okay, we talked about Brownell. We both come to the defense of Brad Brownell and want him to stay around a long time, want him to win for a long time. All right. But this one's just a head scratcher to me. And I need somebody to tell me a good basketball reason that he's on the court. So help me out here, Morgan.
Oh man. And about the same time, I believe I figured out why I couldn't hear Dean Cox a while ago. But I'll tell you,
producer error.
Yes, by far, producer error. Anything that goes wrong with this show has nothing to do with Alan. But everything that goes right always has everything to do with Alan.
Got my stamp on it.
But it would be a disservice to the Clemson community to not bring on Mark Childress a little bit early, at least right on time, because he calls in right when I ask him to. But we're a little bit behind. But, I'm going to bring him on a topic early right now and have him come on the show and talk about this question. So your question was, why would you have Clyde Trapp in the game in late game situations, considering he is a huge liability from the foul line? And other teams know it because at the game, Mark Childress tapped on my shoulder and said, "Hey, this is terrible because he's gonna miss at least half." So if they just make layups and foul Trapp, and they really started doing that. I mean, it was about 3 minutes to go. And it was funny because Mark's wife and we were like, we're going to be here forever if they start fouling with 3 minutes to go. It's just going to be another hour before this basketball game's over because they're going to make a layup and then foul and then make a layup and foul. And then they did that for a little while, but the Tigers were able to kind of squeak through. For me, I think I'm going to go ahead and say, to answer your question, it's because of his ball skills and his experience, I believe, in handling the press. That is it. The only liability there is that you could see later on in the game or during that time, Amir Sims was basically telling the rest of the team, we got to figure out a way to get it out of Clyde Trapp's hands as fast as possible. Like, he's got to get the ball, but we got to get him to pass it to us quickly because we can't afford it. But I've got Mark Childress over on the line. Mark, can you hear us?
Yes, sir. You guys hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you. I got the audio problem fixed. We had an audio problem with Dean. I had to call him on his cell phone. But Mark, thank you for coming on the show. Mark Childress from the Tiger Tailgate Show and WSPA and The Roar. You've seen him everywhere and on the Ring as well in Proc Studios, and we appreciate him coming on the show tonight. But Mark, the question that Alan volleyed to me and I'm going to pass on to you is, why would you have Clyde Trapp on the floor at the end of games because of how much of a liability he is from the foul line?
Listen, I think Trapp ended up 3 of 5 from the foul line for the game, and you've got to let him get out of this, right? I mean, he's always been a pretty good foul shooter. This is an issue he's had for the last number of games. I totally get where you're coming from. But Trapp is such a good defender. He's a great ball handler. He's an incredible rebounder. You guys watch Clyde Trapp against Boston College this coming up weekend in the second half. I guarantee you he'll have between 5 and 8 rebounds. He crashes the boards great, and he does most of that damage in the second half. So he's your floor general, right? You've got to have him out there, and you've got to let him work his way through it. He did hit a couple of foul shots in the clutch, but it is something that a couple of teams have done, and Trapp has not been as successful with it as he should be. But, man, listen, I love Clyde Trapp. He plays really well, and, man, I thought that was the best Tigers effort of the season against Louisville, right? I mean, they've won some big games this year, but a lot of those came on a career Kevin Mack scoring performance, a Hunter Tyson 24-point game or whatever he had, right?
Right.
Even Hemingway had like 16, 17 the other night in a big performance. This was just a total team performance. They dominated Louisville out of the box. So I'll take it and hope that Trapp can fix those free throw woes coming up these last games.